Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Holybro Kopis Mini. This is a 3-inch freestyle model available with an analog setup, the Cadex Vista or a DJI Air unit. This is the Cadex Vista version and has a dry weight of 185 grams and 280 grams with a 4S 850mAh LiPo. So it's over the magic 250 gram number. In fact, even with a 650mAh 4S, it still weighs 265 grams, and with the analog model only weighing 12 grams less than the Vista version, it would be a push to get that one under 250 grams as well. The frame consists of a really wide body and almost an H configuration, and it's so wide because they have used a 30x30 sized flight controller. The frame is really sturdy though, and they also provide an anti-slip mat along with a grippy strap. The front arms lean slightly forward, so I have a feeling the tips of the props might just get in the shot of the camera. And while on the subject of the camera, Holybro have mounted it in TPU, which seems to be a common method with these smaller models, but this time they have used good quality TPU, which only has a little bit of flex in it, so I'll have to find a sunny day to see if it causes any issues with Jallo. The motors are T-Motor branded 1507 3800 kV and the props are T-Motor branded 3140s. You're only given one set of the props in the package, and I found that the nuts are almost impossible to tighten. They should have included a motor wrench to make it easier, because if you don't have one then you risk bending the motor shaft and damaging your hands. The ESCs are the Teco 32 F3 4-in-1 board rated to 45 amps, with a capacitor mounted on the back to filter out noise, and the flight controller is the full-sized Kakute F7, flashed with Betaflight 4.1.2. Unfortunately, I wasn't that impressed with the setup. They're using stock Betaflight PIDs and rates, which don't work well with 3-inch models, and even though they have installed a physical buzzer, there's no lost model alarm setup. On the plus side, there are 4 spare UARTs to work with, but you'll have to be accustomed to Betaflight to get it in the air. This is the DJI Bind and Fly version, so I can bind it directly to my DJI transmitter, but you'll have to add another receiver yourself if you want to use it with a different protocol. The Vista comes stock, so you'll need to activate and update it yourself using the DJI FPV Assistant, and they've kept the antenna stock cable tied to the XT30 connector, which does mean that it can move around a bit, and it would have been more ideal if they had mounted it vertically. Just like the larger Kopis models, it comes in its own carry pouch with a spare Vista cable and some cable ties, I guess for your own receivers antennas. They do sell a GoPro mount separately, but I think you would be really pushing the motors, battery and flight time using one. If they'd made it a 6S model, I think it would fare better with a GoPro. Okay, let's go for a line of sight flight with this guy. I've had to change the PIDs because they were just stock Betaflight PIDs and the thing was just fluttering like crazy. Oh, that's better. Had to reduce the P gains and D gains a lot, which isn't great really. You know, they say these days that, oh, you don't have to touch PIDs in Betaflight these days, and that's true for a lot of 5-inch models, but ever since version 4 of Betaflight, I found it really difficult to get a good tune, specifically on 3-inch models. So, while Holybro are usually very good with stuff like that, not with this one, I'm afraid. It seems nice now. I'll have to try a FPV. Of course, the problem could be that I've reduced them too much, but it's better than the motors heating up, getting too hot. Got bags of performance. Wow, yes, it just disappears. Have to hope that TPU that the camera's held in doesn't produce any Jallo. So I think it just spoils the experience with the HD FPV. You've got a bunch of Jallo there, and it doesn't need to be. But it does seem particularly stiff TPU My worry is that we've got that unibody underneath with the motors attached to it and the flight controller, and it'd be easy for the vibrations to make it through to the camera. Very controllable though. Oh yeah, really quick. I really like the looks of this one. I'm after a main HD digital 3-inch rig, so let's see if this is it. Sounds alright, but let's see how it flies FPV. I'm also just going to see if we've got any drifting, so I'm going to stick it in angle mode, hands off the sticks. We haven't got any wind here today, just a light breeze, and it's just drifting with the wind. It's a test I always like to do, especially when the flight controller is so close to the motors, vibrations could get through. But no, it's fine. I'm not hearing any spitting from the motors. That's another sign that vibrations are getting through, so far so good. So let's take a look at some DVR footage. Now, it's a very windy day here, but the sun came out briefly, so I thought I'd give it some throttle to see if it produced any jello in the video. And I think that is just a small amount there. I know I might seem like I'm being picky, but when you pile a load of money into this HD system, you want to make sure that you're getting the best possible picture you can, especially if you're relying on it as your main HD recorder. As I mentioned in the line of sight flight, I had to reduce the stock PIDs because it was oscillating like crazy, and I did actually suffer a half death roll in this flight, which was caused by the digital idle figure being way too low. It's been a while since I've had to mess with the digital idle, so I didn't touch it, but it definitely needs lifting up to fix the death roll issue. The flight time is really good at just under 5 minutes with the 850 mAh 4S LiPo, so if you want a lighter setup, then you could use a 650 mAh 4S and probably get a 3.5 minute flight time. I'm still not sure about the camera mount. AndyRC have it nailed with their aluminium mount, and while that adds weight, I think it's a better way to mount these DJI cameras so that they don't produce any jello. So there you go, that is my take on the Holybro Kopis Mini. I'll put a link in the video description as well as a pinned comment if you wish to get one, and I'll leave you with some flying. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.